I've never been one to talk about myself, but today I'll make an exception. You'll understand that later. It all happened months ago. I was at the worst point in my life so far. "I'm leaving you," is all the sticky note read. The sticky note that was attached to a moving bill. After losing my job, being reclusive for weeks, and struggling to catch up on bills, I just needed some time to clear my head. I packed a bag, a hatchet, and a few other things I needed before driving out to a good spot that I would go camping at. Fucking idiot! Can't do a damn thing right. I scolded myself as I realized I grabbed a box of tracer rounds by accident. Not wanting to go back home, I loaded my revolver and headed into the thick woods, making sure to mark my path with tape. Always good to know your way back. While hiking through, the signs of life seemed to be all around me, from birds chirping to leaves rustling under small animal feet. It's actually kind of nice out here, I said just before hearing a sound that makes my blood run cold to this day. What sounded like a scream seemingly forced all of the noise out of the surrounding area. Reflexively grabbing my pistol, I scanned my surroundings, trying to determine the source of the scream. Scanning every tree for anything out of place, but finding nothing. Eventually, finding a clearing with what looked like a burnt-out fire pit, flanked by 2 logs, I took a break. What am I even doing? I thought to myself while looking for firewood, wondering if things will get any better. That's when it happened again. All of a sudden, it was like someone hit mute on the forest. An anxious feeling creeping all over my body. I looked around, hatchet in hand. I prepared for the worst. But again, nothing happened. At this point, I was a little uneasy, but not scared. I mean, if anything came at me, I could be an American and shoot my problem away. Relaxing by the fire that night, I enjoyed the sounds of the nightlife. That's when not just 1, but 2 screams erupted from the tree line. One sounding like a distorted voice being played back, the other sounding like an animal and a human screaming at the same time. Shooting to my feet, flashlight in hand, pistol in the other, I scanned my immediate area, hoping to find nothing. I was disappointed to see a mass of black fur. What the fuck? Is all I could get out before the thing turned its head towards me. I was 2 seconds from shitting myself. Its head was a deer skull, its skinny form almost unfolding as it stood. Then it spoke. This monster spoke. It was unnatural, like someone's voice was recorded underwater and played back through a broken speaker. "Starving. Please help," is what it said as it approached me. The instant it reached for me, I shot it, the red light of the tracer hitting its chest. The thing screamed so loud I thought my eardrums would burst. The creature dropped to the ground, writhing in pain. Not wasting a second, I bolted into the tree line, not caring about where I was going, just trying to get away. The monstrosity wailed behind me before hearing what I could only think were its footsteps as it was gaining on me. Looking back, I could see it reach for me when out of nowhere something hit it like a freight train. It was suddenly flung like a rag doll into the tree next to me. I looked back in shock, only being met with darkness. Not paying attention, I slammed into a tree, knocking myself out. I awoke next to the fire, gun laying on my chest and a broken flashlight next to me. What the hell happened? I said, rubbing my head. Jolting up, I scanned my immediate area, trying to peer into the darkness around my fire, finding nothing. Taking a moment to breathe, I soon realized that I fired one shot. With my heart fiercely pounding in my chest every second, feeling like an hour, I checked one used round. Shit! A pair of glowing eyes suddenly caught my attention. They were low to the ground. Whatever it was on all fours. Okay, I can deal with this. I can't deal with this, was what I thought. When it moved like the thing in the darkness just stood on its back legs. I lost my shit. Take a werewolf, but replace the wolf parts with a mountain lion. That's what stepped into the light of my fire. I thought it was gonna die for sure. I pointed my revolver at it, and suddenly it threw its hands up as if saying, "Don't shoot." Confused, I backed up as it sat on the log across from me. At that moment, I was both terrified and curious. If it wanted to, it could have killed me. However, the thing just sat there, as if waiting for me to do something. It then moved its hand, paws, whatever they were, in a familiar way. "Hello," it signed. This thing just used sign language. "Hi?" After picking my jaw up, I began to relax a bit. I was glad I learned sign language in high school. "What are you doing here?" it signed as it stared at me curiously. "I'm stressed, just trying to clear my head," I said, absolutely dumbfounded as to how this thing knew ASL. Its hands ended in pointed tips like bone, pointed, covered with skin and fur with no nails. The longer I stared, the more uneasy I got. "I won't hurt you. It's okay," it signed frantically. It was aware of how uneasy I was. "What are you?" I said nervously. Part of me did not want the answer, but my curiosity just couldn't take it. "Walker is all it signed before." But I didn't need anything else to know what it meant, remembering my mother's love of folklore and mythology, especially of the Native American variety. Stumbling backward and falling off my log, anxiety gripped me like an anaconda. I then realized what this thing that attacked me was this thing a Winton. Before I could get the word out, the monster shot to its feet, jumped over the fire and log and that I was just sitting on. It landed right in front of me before covering my mouth, not allowing me to finish my sentence. I could see fear in its eyes, as if it was begging me not to say what I was about to. It put one finger up as if it was going to shush me. As I gave a quick nod, it moved its hand. "Okay, names are a no-no," I said, trying to calm down. It picked me up and gently put me down on the log like a toddler. "Wait till the sun comes up, then go back to your car," it signed. "Okay, but what if Old Scully comes back?" It let out a sound I could only assume was a chuckle as it patted its muscular arm and pointed to itself with a clawed thumb. Can you kill it? Shaking its head no, its ego seemingly deflated. Don't know how, it signed, well, disappointingly looking down. As weird as it sounds, it reminded me of a sad puppy with that look. Alright, we can figure something out. And when in doubt, we can kill it with fire, I said, trying to reassure my new bestial friend. If only I could remember the stories my mother told me. Unfortunately, she was more concerned with scaring me more than anything else. So defense methods really didn't stick. Let's do a check. In the woods, at night, with one monster trying to help me and the other wanting to eat me. That's when the scream cut through the silence of the night. Walker closed the distance between us and we stood back to, lower back, while scanning the area behind the light of the fire. Something at the edge of my sight zipped faster than I could perceive. Before I could warn Walker, they ran into the darkness after it. Damn it! That's all I could get out before Walker completely disappeared into the darkness. I could hear what sounded like two huge masses slamming into each other. I caught a glimpse of Scully getting close, but Walker intercepting it. Each hit was devastating. Both monsters were interlocked in mortal combat. I was mere mortal, while two beings of myth and legend slugged it out, each struggling for the upper hand, both fighting to kill each other. If only I could fucking see the fight! Suddenly the thing screamed again. I couldn't tell if it was a victory cry or if Walker really messed it up. With my flashlight broken, I couldn't do much. Searching my bag, I found the lighter fluid I used for the fire. After dousing a nearby fallen branch, I was able to make a torch. I stepped out into the darkness, the torch leading the way, and my pistol in my free hand. Walker, I swear to God, if you jump scare me, I'll slap you with this torch, I said before quickly turning around to find that there was nothing behind me. Then I heard two things slam into each other, followed by another scream. The scream was different this time. It sounded more like an animal. Running in the direction of the scream, I was soon met by the sight of Walker struggling with that thing biting into their shoulder. The sight of Walker in trouble triggered something. I could have run in that moment. I don't think anyone would have judged me for it. But something inside me just screamed for me to fight. I tucked my pistol into my waistband, grabbed my torch with both hands, and hit the thing with it as hard as I physically could. Somehow the torch remained lit, and the instant the thing let go of Walker, I hit it again. Walker's claws sliced at the thing's chest. It swung at me, just barely missing. Walker went berserk. They were on the thing, ripping at its chest, a jet black heart pumping in plain view. I shoved the lit torch into the open wound. It started writhing on the ground. Just to be certain, I grabbed my pistol and shot it several times, lighting the area up with the glow of the tracers. When everything was done, Walker dragged the thing back to my fire, kicking and screaming before pulling its head off and throwing it into the flames, followed by the body. Come here, let me check your wounds, I said, pointing at the bite mark. Walker timidly crouched down, almost embarrassed that they messed up. Their wounds seemed to heal quickly. Look, we're alive, and that thing is dead. So don't stress out about it. Holding both sides of their face and looking them in the eye. You're still the big bad monster in these woods. Now let's get some rest. I'm worn out. If you want to come with me in the morning, you're more than welcome. I'm not just gonna leave you out here, not after you saved my ass. In the morning, I woke up to a naked Native American girl cuddled up to me. What? Oh, Walker, is That you, or am I about to be attacked by something else? It's me, she signed before holding on to me in an attempt to keep warm. After cleaning up my campsite, I piggybacked Walker to my car where I reloaded my pistol and threw her some clothes. Well, looks like we're Wendigo killers, aren't we? Oh, fuck. I realized what I just did before seeing the shock on Walker's face. We heard a familiar scream and something barreling through the woods in our direction, but this one sounded heavier. Get in, I shouted to Walker as I hopped in the driver's seat. My car picked the worst time to be dramatic. When it finally turned over, a second thing was just outside my window as I put the car in drive. A huge black furred hand punched through my window. Walker grabbed my pistol and fired several shots into the thing, causing the arm to retract. This gave me enough time to hit the gas and floor it out of there. You okay? Walker just gave me a look of disappointment. I'm sorry. Suddenly, something slammed into the back of my car, causing us to spin out. Gaining control, I straightened the car on the road to see this one was way bigger than I thought it was. It stood almost as tall as the trees around us. Hey, Walker, I have an idea. I grabbed the container of lighter fluid and hoped this wouldn't be the last thing we do. Walker climbed on top of the car and transformed. I could hear the bones crack and reshape as something I'd rather not think about. Once she was finished, I handed her the lighter fluid and floored it toward the thing. As soon as we got close, Walker jumped up and slammed the container into the thing's chest. It backhanded her, sending her flying. Oh shit! I yelled before seeing it was on her. I knew this was a bad idea. A really bad idea. Probably one of the worst ideas I've ever had. Wendigo! Just like that, its attention was on me. Getting out of my car, hauled ass into the woods, weaving through the trees. It was on me. As soon as I reached a clearing, it bent down and nearly grabbed me. But before I could get any further, its hand wrapped around my torso and lifted me up to eye level. Why, Grandma, what big eyes you have. Hoping those weren't my last words, I prayed for a miracle. My prayers were answered by a 7-foot bipedal mountain lion. Walker slashed the back of the thing's leg and slammed into it. The force from this caused it to loosen its grip just enough for me to get shot with the lighter fluid. Its chest exploded in the flames. The thing dropped me, but Walker was able to make the catch. After making sure it was burnt to a crisp, we were on our way. On the way back to my apartment, Walker explained that those things essentially killed her family. She had nowhere to go. Well, now she does. She quickly accepted the offer, stopping to get something to eat. 6 burgers later, and Walker decided to ask me something. Why were you out there? She signed. I was trying to clear my head. I thought camping might help. She gave a judging look before started signing. No tent and a loaded gun. I removed my revolver. I pulled out my revolver and took out the last bullet. One of these was meant for me. Life's been kicking me in the balls with no sign of stopping. I wasn't expecting all of this, but I know one thing. I'm not ready to die just yet. She leaned her head on my shoulder, trying to comfort me. It was a nice moment. Almost ruined when she stuffed a bunch of fries in her mouth. It had been a few days living with Walker when there was a knock at the door. When I opened it, I saw an Amazon of a woman. "Hello there," she said, staring at me. She was dressed like you would expect a man in black. I stupidly responded, "General Kenobi." Taking a step into my apartment, she looked around. "Nice place you got here. But I think a monster killer like you can do a lot better." I don't... Before I could finish my sentence, she grabbed me by the collar with one arm and lifted me up. "Now, don't lie to me. I know what you did. Now, where is the girl?" Doing something I'm completely certain should not have worked, I wrapped my legs around her arm and flung my body weight in one direction. We landed on the coffee table, breaking it. "That was impressive," she said, getting up as I remained on the ground, groaning in pain. Look, lady, I don't know who you are, but you're not getting shit from me." My confidence dipped when she started laughing. Kid. "So, Tyler Wilson, would you and your little friend like a job?" I looked at her, confused, before asking, "What are the benefits like?"